for this special event during our middle school X-Block. So today we have the privilege of hearing from an inspiring young leader who's making a real difference in the world. Our guest speaker, Denmark Chirunga, is a proud Fessenden alum, class of 2023, and currently a student at Roxbury Latin School. In addition to being a dedicated athlete, Denmark has a deep passion for economics, investing, and aerospace. But above all, he is a change maker. As the co-founder of Giving Souls Africa, Denmark has committed himself to providing footwear to underprivileged communities across Africa, ensuring that children and families have access to something so basic yet essential: shoes. Denmark's dedication to creating positive change serves as an inspiration to us all, demonstrating that leadership and impact have no age limit. Today, Denmark will share his journey, how he and his sister started Giving Souls Africa, the lessons he has learned along the way, and how each of us can take action to serve our communities. So, without further ado, please join me in giving a warm pheasant welcome to Denmark Chirunga.
How's your afternoon going? Feels great to be back. It's just really nostalgic, walking through the hallways, seeing all you guys in the suits and ties. Just really brings me back to my days at Fessenden. So, as Mr. Charleston said, my name is Denmark Chirunga. I'm from the class of 2023, and it's just really nice to be back. As you've heard, I'm the co-founder of Giving Souls Africa, and I'm here to present to you guys today. So like I said, both me and my sister founded the organization. We were at Fessenden. So obviously on the left you can see a picture of me, and on the right you can see a picture of my sister. She at the time attended the Windsor School, and it was just a great experience founding it, and I'll just move on to that. So here is our vision today. So as Mr. Charleston said, Giving Souls Africa is committed to providing underprivileged children with reliable footwear that supports them and allows them to have the opportunity to, one, attend school, and to do it in a way in which is just very comfortable for them. And part of kind of like the inspiration for the mission is my time at Fessenden, and culture, and just like what kind of made up a lot of my time at Roxbury was shoes. A lot of kids had really nice shoes. What type of shoes we had. It was just really inspiring, kind of like understanding the privilege that we have as Americans and Africans in the school, having the ability to, to have the opportunity to have not shoes at all, but also shoes that we really cherish and appreciate. And so I just want to spread that idea and that feeling of having those shoes to kids who are underprivileged and are in the African diaspora. So just looking back, as I said, I just felt so much nostalgia walking through the hallways. Like I said, seeing all the guys in suits and everything. Just talking about my time at Fessenden. So I was at Fessy from 4th grade to 6th grade. And like I said, Giving Souls Africa was founded during my time at Fessenden. While I was here, we actually had their pain, and also that just the beauty of being taught and the beauty of having the opportunity to go to school. All of those things kind of combined and just inspired the concept for Giving Souls Africa. So based on that, we were founded in spring of 2019, and like I said before, that was during my time. So essentially, after we collected all the shoes from Fessenden, after we raised some money, our first trip was to Accra, Ghana, and that happened in December 2022. Obviously, as you guys know, from 2019 to about 2021, there was a lot of issues with COVID, just obviously just personal safety, and also just logistics were completely not in the right place. So we had to first focus on donating some shoes elsewhere, and then here was our first distribution in actual Africa, and our first distribution in the African diaspora. So here, we partnered with the J.D. Shoe Guys Foundation event where we met with friends and everything. So, just like I said, Fessenden, really inspired me. It was part of the founding of the mission, and it was just, again, it was just great, kind of looking back and coming here in the future from that time, and it's just really wonderful. And since my time at Fessenden, I've been enrolled at the Fessenden School, and now I'm a junior. So, how did GSA begin? Like I said, I already talked a bit about kind of how Fessenden inspired me to kind of found Giving South Africa, but it wasn't just Fessenden that kind of inspired me to do this. So one day, my parents attended a presentation on South African outwork, and at that presentation, an artist advocated for children in that they be provided with reliable footwear, because a lot of those children needed to walk just many miles to school, and obviously not all the roads were paved. There could be just many like hazardous materials on the roads that they had to walk to, and it's a lot of the parents, they didn't have money for a car or even like skates or anything like that. So it's just something that was necessary for them. And seeing her talk about the experience that those children had to go on 50 pairs, and it was just a really big learning experience, because as you know, about like the things that you do for the first time, there's things that you have to learn, and it doesn't just come on like immediately. So this was really a learning experience. It was also a really wonderful experience just seeing for the first time your shoes have a genuine impact, and like the things that you do have a genuine impact. Before, raising the shoes in the US, it was kind of the impact on like my personal community at Fessenden, at the school my sister attended, Windsor, on my own family. But now it was actually going to a greater cause, like not just in my community, but helping other communities in Africa, which I strived to do for over 3 years. So all of that kind of culminated. It was just a really beautiful experience. And like I said, it was just coupled with like a lot of learning. So after that donation, we got in partnership with Marathon Sports. That again was a moment of learning. It was essentially founded by when my father and I were in the store. It was right before cross country season, and we were just trying to look for shoes so that I could, be well equipped for the season. And we saw a woman donating shoes, and a thought came to our minds. We're like, these people are donating their shoes. Why not we take advantage of these high quality shoes and provide them to children in Africa? So essentially, we linked up with the woman and that school in the store, and essentially that's kind of where the partnership was formed. And ever since our partnership in 2023, we've received thousands of really high quality shoes, and we also attend bi-monthly events. So like I said, we can have that in-person, kind of like community-based in actual like where we live, and also kind of have that impact in Africa. So they've really helped us, really push our mission, and it's just been communities in Johannesburg in South Africa. And essentially there we partnered with the Hands of Life organization and the DD and Friends Foundation. And essentially the DD and Friends Foundation connects us with Hands of Life, which is a soup kitchen, which feeds school children and just children that live in the surrounding area. And it just provides them with food and also just resources so that they are not hungry. And so this is almost like the perfect organization for us to work with. They also provided help to school children, and it was again just a really great opportunity. We donated over 150 pairs of shoes, and again, so as you know, the previous donations and distributions in Accra and Johannesburg, those were in-person donations. But for this donation, we had to deal with shipping the shoes to Burundi, since it's not easily accessed by plane, train, automobile, all that. So we had to figure that whole thing out, and essentially we donated about 600 pairs of shoes to the Village Health Works and to International Academy. And as I said, it was just a wonderful experience. As you can see the children taking the shoes that we got from the partnership with Marathon Sports, and just being able to provide 600 pairs of shoes, which is a momentous amount of shoes, to that community is wonderful and really edifying. And what's interesting is after we had an interview with one of the director of education from Village Health Works, and what she talked about was not just our impact on the children, but just the widespread effect on both the school and the community, because the school, International Academy, and the school that's part of Village Health Works, they they like provide scholarships to these children who are in. So essentially, this summer we're going to be going to Tanzania in another one of our African distributions, and essentially you guys are going to be helping us collect all of these shoes for both the Tanzania Food for Education, or TOPED, and Tanzania Children's Fund. These two organizations help support school children, both by either feeding them similarly to the Hands in Life organization, which is Tanzania Food for Education, or providing children a place to stay, which is what the Tanzania Children's Fund does in their Rift Valley orphanage. And essentially what they do is they provide a place where these children can live, they can have education and everything. So those are essentially what we have planned, and we're just looking really forward to it. As you can see, we have a few members, and as spread the wealth of education, people who are in all sorts of both economic and just every part of like life, every walk of life. And they were able to boost their admissions, and they were able to just get a lot more students so they could spread that mission of providing education. So that really kind of impacted me as well, because it just taught me how it wasn't just, Giving Souls Africa is not just about putting shoes on people's feet. It's also about, again, that community impact, helping the school, helping the children, and just everything. And just really a full circle moment for the organization. So connecting to like partnering and shoe drive, that's actually from something that occurred earlier in Giving Souls Africa's timeline. I mentioned it briefly earlier, but we had a really big shoe drive with Windsor in which skating event. We were collecting a lot of shoes, both kids in my grade and my sister's grade. We helped pack and sort all the shoes. We got around 600 pesos, which was really helpful. And it was a combination of both fun and service, which I think is really important for everyone, having that kind of like fun and giving like service, giving back to your own community or communities that are abroad. So essentially ways in which you can help is participating in shoe drive, donating your level shoes, especially those which are kid and adult sizes, and then kind of like the hands-on aspect, which is either like tagging or sorting the shoes, because that's the kind of another thing that we deal with, and kind of like the community aspects of running an organization. And then I started the organization in early 2019, so I was 11, 12.
How do you get the shoes, like 600, 150 pair of shoes from here to Africa?
So the question was, how do we get the shoes, whether it be like 150 or 600, to Africa? That's a great question. I kind of talked about it a bit I'm just talking about the Burundi distribution. So it kind of depends what we do. If we're actually able to travel there, like Accra and Johannesburg, we actually bring the shoes with us on the plane, so that later we can ship a bunch of shoes later. So that obviously entails just logistical, decisions, whether they're in suitcases or really in a box. And then for actually like Burundi, those 600 shoes, we actually have to send those on the plane, so we ship those. So those were flown to Burundi. So it really just depends on logistics. Are we able to actually go there? And I think, again, I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but one of the beauties of Giving Souls Africa, like a personal connection with the children, learning about who they are, and not just tell them about us. So that's kind of one of the big things for our organization. So, like I said, when we actually go there, we either like take it with us, or we kind of ship it beforehand, or we just ship it by plane or boat, whatever. So the question was whether or not Giving Souls Africa is a nonprofit organization. Answer is yes. We don't make any profits from donating. But yes, we are a nonprofit organization, and we provide all of these for no remuneration. We just do it all for the kindness of the heart and just helping the world. So this question was, what type of shoes do we give away? So, I'm trying to get a slide, but we take really just any shoe that's reliable and adequate. But we really want to focus on shoes that are, any size, but also that are just like newer, lightly used, because it's also about giving those children something that they can appreciate. So we don't want to be giving them shoes that are, muddy or like destroyed or anything. We want to give them high quality shoes. So no matter what type of shoe it is, the shoe needs to be of just high quality. But we don't discriminate based on like, is it like a tennis shoe? Is it a track shoe? Is it a soccer shoe? But there's good shoes and help us make it grow.
How many people work at Giving Souls Africa?
It's a great question. So on this slide, you can kind of see all of us here. This is both my sister, me, and then we have a few volunteers. I can put their name out. So on the left, it might be kind of hard to see. That's Kai, he's at Roxford Lab right now. He's a 7th grader. There's Gian in the middle, going to Mana, and there's Iris, who's in our grade. She's a junior. So as I said many times, Giving Souls Africa is not just about what we do in Africa, it's also what we do here. So we really trying to get these volunteers to help us out with the actual organization, and we're always looking for more, because having these volunteers and immersing themselves in service, it can be multiplied by just many times. Their interest in service can inspire their families, can inspire their relatives, can inspire.
Even as much as the Giving Souls characters like you, you go to RL, right? It's a challenging school. You have a lot of homework. How do you manage your time between the organization, your homework, family, artwork?
That's a great question. His question was, how do you manage having an organization, schoolwork, and just social life? I'd say that I tend to manage it pretty well. I think, I didn't mention this, but I think that's like another one of the challenges. I think all of you guys, as you get older, you're gonna have to start doing more stuff. Maybe basically in the high school, you start to do clubs, activities, anything like that. Obviously, the next year you're gonna be in college doing even more stuff, and then you're gonna be an adult with more responsibilities. So one of the biggest things was just kind of getting acclimated to that, like understanding, when do I need to schedule this, how much time do I have available, science, English, whatever, and just learning how to organize. And those are kind of the ways in which doing something like this, again, you can help other people, but you can also learn a lot yourself, learn about who you are, and just improve yourself to be able to handle things like that. So it's honestly just one of the things you kind of learn as you go, just understanding when I need to do this, how should I organize my time, just things like that. I think it's like I said, it's just something you kind of learn over time, but it's also, people who do that who mentor me, whether it be like my parents or someone at my school, just help me understand how to manage my time situation. Honestly, our goals as I go into college and as I get older is to kind of continue expanding. That's partly why we're actually looking for more volunteers, is because we kind of want the organization to stay alive. We want the younger members of society to help out and just spread the organization. People they know in their school, younger members there. So I think our end goal is just getting as many volunteers as we can to help out, and just kind of have that generational kind of propagation of the organization. And so Giving Souls Africa never really ceases to exist, and we can continue helping people in the African diaspora around the world.
You're talking about Ghana, then South Africa, then Tanzania, then you go to Central. So how do you target where you're going to be, or where you're using those?
So his question was, where do you target, or how do you target the different places you go? Like we talked about Tanzania, Burundi, Ghana, South Africa. Essentially, we don't really have like a calculus necessarily to how we do it. We take you can like submit requests to our organization on our website, and we essentially just respond to anyone who contacts us. And we've also done research on, like for Tanzania, we did research on different organizations in Tanzania, and we just found specific organizations like Top Ed and Tanzania Children's Fund, which kind of work with school children and also just children in general who could be benefited by the shoes that they would receive. So it's kind of twofold, both our
Willie's arm's gonna fall, so I'm gonna give Willie a question. So we'll go fifth. So we'll go sixth, then we'll go fifth. All right. So go ahead.
Is it when you started the whole organization? Was it just like you're doing the whole thing, or you kind of like a little bit
you can review it.
like when you start like when the organization started when you're up, right? How like could you describe how your members help?
He essentially asked, obviously you started when you were younger, kind of how did, like, working with your sister, kind of how was it when you started, or I guess, how were you able to kind of handle all that? So also the people who contact us and tell us that they're in need of shoes, so we can understand exactly who to target and who to help benefit with these shoes. It wasn't just me, it was obviously me and my sister, and obviously trying to just help from the family overall, understanding that it was just a project that we were kind of all working towards. So we really invested a lot of time into it, and as I said, it wasn't just us having, you know, the connections with Windsor and Fessenden, and kind of Fessenden's appreciation of both the mission and helping out with the event. It made it a lot easier to engage in organization and to kind of continue organization. So as I said, I think community is kind of one of the biggest things that you have to think about. It's not just you, there are a lot of people in the community who would be open to helping you, kind of either do your own thing or help out someone else's organization. So I think, again, it's not just about yourself, it's about the entire community's like importance in both like the mission and kind of like your own life and continuing like your passions.
Growing up, like when did you like first want to start like the shoot, like giving souls to Africa? Like when did you start it? Like with your sister? Did you what age?
Yeah. As I mentioned, a lot of it kind of came from that one presentation by the artist. I think I've heard this a lot. It's kind of like an aha moment or whatever. It's kind of like when something just kind of resonates with you, and it really causes you to, you know, buy into that fact. So just seeing the artist, her certain implications of the children, her personal experience in South Africa, I think that was that one kind of moment that really like inspired me to kind of like found Giving Souls Africa and dedicate a lot of my time to it. So, and I think also my parents have always kind of instilled a lot of importance on both service and like knowing who you are. So I think what's built in my own life comes from service and giving back to the community that you're part of. So it's kind of something that was built up by my parents, which I'm very thankful for to them, and also come back on a moment which inspires you to actually realize kind of what's in this right.
Very proud. I didn't have the privilege of teaching Denmark while he was here, but there are a host of folks here who remember Denmark when he was a student here. And to have the moment, to have him come back and share a passion that he started and give you all some lessons that he's learned, and he'll continue to learn as he's committed himself to a life of service, is wonderful, right? He started this at the age of 11, all right? So that just shows you that you are never too young to make an impact on the world. And we just want to appreciate you. You already got the gift?
Yeah.
Our small token of appreciation to you, Denmark, and his family who is here, his parents who he spoke about. Can we give it up for his parents?
We also have, just to give you a heads up, we have during our Flex Week coming up, we actually, where we're going to be able not only to contribute to Giving Souls Africa in a shoe drive, but we're also going to have an opportunity to sort some of the donations that we get as well. And those who are interested in that sorting, there will have an opportunity to kind of engage and learn more about the organization from Denmark. So just be on the lookout for that. We're going to have an awesome shoe drive planned for you guys, and then we'll also have a sorting event following. So we're ready for that as well.
And just to piggyback off what Ms. G said, listen up, just to piggyback off what Ms. G said, hopefully in the near future, right, when you guys go off and you're in high school, you guys will come back and give back an inspiring word to our middle school and our community, all right? So one more time for Denmark.